Welcome to RV Out West. I'm your host, Brooks. My family of four's base camp is located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and our RV adventures radiate out from there. Please grab a mug of coffee and join us as we discuss RVing around the American West. From sweet camping spots, gear and equipment, to tips and tricks, we've got you covered. We are RV Out West. It takes about 27 seconds for a thief to steal your trailer batteries. In fact, when we purchased Pippa the Pop-Up, she didn't come with a battery, as the battery had been stolen right off the tongue of the trailer while the previous owners were out exploring for a day. That led me down a rabbit hole of research, YouTube channels, etc., to try and find a solution for our tent trailer. Ultimately, I landed on a company called RV Lockbox. They build diamond-plated aluminum battery lockboxes. Plus, I was excited as they are a Washington State business manufactured out in Spokane, Washington. In this episode, I'm excited to chat with Jason Tracy, the owner of RV Lockbox. Jason, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yeah.
So I would like to jump right in and kind of, what's the story that led to you starting RV Lockbox? There's obviously a piece of history there that something happened to you, I bet.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. As a working in construction back in the day and things like that, I've always wanted to try to get and invent something. I wouldn't necessarily say I invented this product, but I refined it to make it more useful and more secure. But back in the day, back 2013, my wife and I were sitting around, and we've been campers all of our lives. So we heard on the news in the local area here that people were stealing batteries from the front of campers. So, and we had our camper out front of our house and with batteries and things like that. We never heard of anybody stealing them before, but we thought, well, and we might want to figure that out and try to get a handle on it before ours are gone. And so I sat there and kind of thought, okay, well, tomorrow maybe I'll go around to RV dealers and see what they have to offer for security on those. And so I visited about 3 RV dealers in the Spokane area. And all 3 of those people said, yes, we have a box that we can sell you, but we will probably be getting it back from you due to the lack of security in that box. And so I didn't really know what that meant, so I kind of did some more investigating, actually found the box that they had to offer for sale. And they were right. The lid setup on that box was not adequate for, thieves and tools and crowbars and things like that. So one of the RV dealers told me, if you were able to develop something, now mind you, my past or my current full-time job is selling sheet metal, aluminum, stainless steel, diamond plate aluminum, things like that, and I sell it to customers that build like electronic boxes for AT&T and Verizon Wireless and all those companies that need real strong aluminum or steel electronic boxes that go 300 feet in the air on a tower. So those are my customers that build those things. And I thought, well, with their design, their knowledge, I must be able to come up with something that's going to work. And the gal said, yeah, if you come up with something, I will buy it from you. So, I went home, kind of thought about it, and I got a hold of my biggest customer at the time. And he was a cool dude. I was in sales, so I always had to take him out and entertain him and things like that. So we had that relationship already. So realistically, I called him up and I said, I'll buy you some beers if you come down and help me sketch something out. And so, with his knowledge of what people are doing to make things secure and good, which they have to be when you're dealing with those kind of customers. And so we sat there, and it was kind of the perfect story because it was literally a bar napkin drawing
incredible.
type start.
Some of the best stuff comes from bar napkins. I swear, bar napkins are incredible.
Yeah, and it was really, you borrow a pencil or a pen from the waitress, and you get a napkin, and you start. We had about 5 napkins laid out by the time we were done. But so that's really how it began. He had a good design. We probably went through about 5 different prototype type boxes. And as the things developed, and you build one and you try it on your camper, you try it on your buddy's camper, and you see how it went. It kind of turned out our first boxes were actually just one size with a hinge lid on the top. And we figured, the hinge lids aren't working well because everybody's camper's tapered in the front. So the lid itself only is able to open up, maybe 3/4 of the way, to a 90-degree angle. So, so we refined that, made it all slide lids. We made it, and kind of from there, from 2013, we came out with one product, and I think I listed it on eBay. I don't know if I was on Amazon or not. I was amateur website type. And, from there, it just kind of snowballed. We started refining things as people were calling me, and I get calls almost every other day asking, can you make this box? Can you do this? Can you do that? And so we refined our product, starting with one box. We have, I think, 12 or so different kind of models, colors, boxes, things like that, selling right now. So
yeah, that's great. I mean, when I had acquired our original pop-up trailer, it came with no battery because it had been stolen. And I believe it was stolen from Farragut State Park there in Idaho, while our friends who I bought it from were off exploring the area, and they came back after a day of exploration and their battery was gone.
Wow.
So when we bought the pop-up, I started just internet research and went down YouTube rabbit holes of like ways to secure batteries. And it was just, the solutions I was finding were janky at best.
Yeah.
With using just like that bendable metal that you could probably cut with 10 snips. I mean, it was a false sense of security. And then that's when I came across your RV lockbox, and that was the solution. That worked really, really well for us. And I was, pleased with the build quality and everything. Plus, I really liked that the lid slides. Yeah. Right. To your point where you're saying with the hinge, being able to slide that lid off for installation or maintenance or accessing your batteries is fantastic.
Yeah. And, it's funny how the 14-inch wasn't necessarily designed to use on camper trailers. It was more designed to use on fishing boats. I went to a boat show one time, and I thought, how can I get into this market? And so the lid on a 14-inch is only designed, it comes out maybe an inch and then lifts off. And that's because a lot of those batteries on fishing boats are in compartments. And the rest of our lids slide completely off and stay in the track the whole distance of the lid. And this is only about a 1-inch movement and lifts off type thing. So the compartments don't have the space for a full slide. And so that was the meaning behind it. Plus we had to make sure it was built strong, for anything. So, and I got to tell you one story. The only box in our probably, what are we, 8 years in, the only report that I've ever had of somebody stealing a battery with one of our lock boxes is a 14-inch box. And I questioned the guy, and he said that he forgot to fasten the box down to the to the trailer.
So they just stole the whole box.
So they just stole the whole box.
Cut the wires and stole the box.
Yeah. So it works a lot better when you actually fasten it onto something.
That makes sense. 100% that makes sense. So tell me a bit, about the types of materials and the way you kind of construct it. You don't need to give me your super trade secrets, but just kind of tell me a bit about, the construction and the quality of materials, et cetera, that you guys use.
Yeah. Well, we are 100% CAD designed, with all of the supercomputer CNC type stuff out there where it's drawn on CAD. It's all laid out. All the materials that we use are aluminum. Aluminum is 1/3 the weight of steel. So we wanted to make sure, okay, we got to keep, campers have to stay light or try to stay light. Steel would be the optimal probably product to use, but aluminum is just, as strong for what we needed to do. And it keeps its weight down a little bit. Our biggest box is probably 20 pounds total, without batteries. So all of our stuff, made of 1/8 inch aluminum, smooth sheet, or it's made with diamond plate aluminum, which gives it a little bit of a toolbox, which some people like. So the finishes on our boxes are all professionally powder coated, clean and powder coated. So it's a professional finish on them. So there's, we have our matte black product out that comes only in smooth aluminum. And it's kind of a, not quite a rhino liner, but it's kind of a sandpaper type matte black. Folks really love that.
I was going to say, which one kind of is what would you say is your top seller as far as the finisher? Is it the black? I like the black diamond plate, but I'm also intrigued by the black matte finish too, but I don't know, maybe it's silver. I don't know. I'm curious. What's
our number one seller by a lot is 27-inch gloss black diamond plate. And that's by a lot. That's double of everything that we sell all together. So that's our most popular. That's when we keep in stock. We order that every single time we order anything else. So but yeah, that's a big mover. And I just looked this morning, and we're, being a small business, we work distribution and marketing and all the stuff all the technical fancy things are worked just out of our house here in our shop. And we the boxes are laser cut in our at our vendor's place, not far from us, probably about 5 miles away. And then they bend them up, they fasten them all together, they rivet it all together, and then they deliver, or they powder coat it if needed. So that's done in-house to keep costs down. And then they deliver them to us, and we package and ship and print and do all those sort of things. So everything's
and
done.
It's all
here.
local there. Yeah,
everything's
Spokane.
100% local.
That's fantastic.
I buy stickers from the local guy. If I need to, I buy any marketing material from the local guy.
That's wonderful.
Everything stays small town. And I try not to use big business to do that either. I use the mom and pop shops around here. So, it's, I think it's important for us to stay local, stay small, as far as this concern goes. I don't mind, helping the community out as long as I can. So,
yeah, no, it's wonderful. I mean, that was also big for me just in making my purchase, right? I'm like, there's a little bit of that Washington State pride right there. I'm like, hey, this is manufactured in my state, and this is awesome. But I have thought about installing like a battery disconnect switch in the lockbox. So that way, then I can kind of just leave them secured in my box and and turn that off. Have you had any customers do that? Had success with that? Do you have any tips, tricks, suggestions for that?
We've had a lot of people do that. The biggest thing is with RV Lockbox is that we design batteries. We design battery boxes to try to be as generic and fitting as possible for as many people out there and as many camper trailers out there. So what we do is we've chosen to go with 3 different sizes: the 27, the 23, and the 14-inch. And we don't do anything but that. And so what I tell folks is when they ask me, can I put a switch in here? Can I put this type of battery in here? We're 100% dimensionally driven. And that means that, here is our box. here are our dimensions of our box, inside and outside. We hope that you can fit these on your trailer, and we hope that your batteries will fit inside. But the real homework comes, because there's so many different batteries, there's so many different trailers. You can't build one for everything.
Right.
If somebody wants to put a Battleborn battery on a Airstream, we have no idea what the fit is for that. And we try not to, just because the fact that once we dial in a battery size, the next year it's going to be different. And so I tell people, if you want to fit a Battleborn battery or two of these batteries in your box, measure the batteries. I'll help you out, and you get me the dimensions of your batteries, and we'll see if it'll fit inside the box. With that, to your question, sometimes a battery switch fits, and sometimes they don't. It just depends on the size of box, the size of batteries.
Right.
If there's two batteries, one battery, are you going to put the switch inside, outside? It's all dimensionally driven. And it's kind of tough for folks, because I swear the only reason we ever get a battery back, or a battery box back, is either if someone did not measure anything, or UPS screwed it up, and they seem to be pretty good at that these days. So we're kind of working on the UPS thing, trying to get boxes out with more protection, on the way, so they can throw them off a building and do what they do, and hopefully it lands in one piece still. So, but yeah, 100% dimensionally driven. I mean, and I help out, every single day. I answer questions from customers saying, "Hey, will this battery fit?" Well, give me the battery dimensions, give me the sizes. What do you have in your camper? How are you going to do this? And then we go through there. So it's a little tough, if people think, it's funny that people think that I know every dimension on every camper out there. So it's like, well, I have a Jayco 360M. Will it fit? And I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
So am I measuring the height of the box straight from the top of the, not the tongue, but I mean of the
angle brackets?
Yeah, the bracket.
So,
because it sits on top of that.
Yeah. And so we'll get that out of the way first. I get a lot of questions on this. Your battery box won't fit. And most little plastic battery boxes that come with trailers fit between those angle brackets. This does not. And strictly due to the security of the lid, and to try to get people to stay out of them, we had to design it wider so that you can still get batteries in, and the security rolls inside, and we can fit the lid in that channel. That's purely from security. We didn't try to fit it between the things. And so that's why we tell people, these boxes do not fit between the brackets, they fit on top. So with that said, you'll have to look at the different dimensions that we have with our boxes. We have standard 23 inch. If your space is 23 inches or less between, we have a 27 inch, which I recommend anybody buying the biggest box they can, because in the future, I would rather see you buy too big of a box and be able to fit your upgraded batteries later on in that same box, because these are lifetime boxes. You don't have to buy another one. Right. Sell your trailer, keep your box type thing if you want to. So buy the biggest box you can, but the fit and the measurement on that is just strictly, and I tell people, maybe you can make a cardboard mock-up of it, and see how that works out. People don't necessarily love to do that, but really these boxes are expensive to ship. They're expensive to ship back, and typically when I get them back, they're not in very good shape. So we try to get all that out of the way, and tell folks, don't buy a box unless you're 100% sure.
And the dimensions are on your website, right? At rvlockbox.com.
Yep. All of them are on the website.
I want to circle back on locks. You had mentioned disc lock.
Yeah, less shank to cut, the better. And that's the biggest thing is, guys have, ways to get in with bolt cutters or grinders or anything like that. And if you don't have an exposed shank, then it's harder to get to. So you'd have to cut the block itself in half, if you're using a disc lock.
The quality of your boxes are absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I was
thank you.
thoroughly pleased with the product when I bought it.
Again, and one thing too, I'd like to add, there's almost the number one question I get is, why aren't these waterproof? And
oh yeah, good question.
Yeah, they're not waterproof. The lid is designed for security. It's not designed to hold out any water or moisture or anything like that. First of all, it doesn't trap any moisture. So there's no moisture going to sit inside the box whatsoever. It doesn't trap gases, anything like that. Most batteries are made not to emit gases, anything like that these days. They don't leak acid like people think they do and things. So they sometimes get corrosion at the top, but that's about it. So really, it's kind of like I describe it. Your car battery is not waterproof either.
Right.
If it can get water on it, doesn't hurt it, doesn't do much. It's not floating in water. Doesn't really matter. So your RV batteries do not need to be completely dry, although they'll probably never hit water because when it does rain or whatever on the top of the box, it just dribbles down the inside sides of the box and drips right out the bottom.
It doesn't even affect the battery at all.
Yeah.
Well, where else can they find you? So they can find you at rvlockbox.com. Are you guys active on social media? And if so, tell me a bit about your socials.
Well, we have Facebook. I'm not very computer literate. I am in some sense, but they can find us on Facebook. I believe that is a connection on Instagram. I really don't know much about Instagram, but there's probably some pictures on there of RV Lockbox.
Of your boxes. Yep.
Yeah. So those two things, we do some contests on Facebook every once in a while, and that's kind of where we divvy out our discount codes. So it's important for folks to, if they're looking for a discount code,
give you a follow on social media. On Facebook.
Follow on Facebook and then go through.
Yep. And if they want to get in touch with you, is there an email that's best that they should use, or any of that if they have questions to follow up on anything that we've discussed or whatever? Yeah.
Our email is rvarmor@comcast.net. And they can even call me on the phone if they have any questions. It's an open book at that point. So.
And the phone number then?
It's 509-218-0713.
Fantastic. Well, Jason, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me here on RV Out West about your RV lock boxes. I really appreciate it. And I love the fact that your product is made in the USA. That's super cool.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you and what you're doing and getting the product names out there and helping folks out. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Time for our pit stop, and today I want to share my top 5 favorite road songs. Music for me must surround me. I listen to music at least 8 hours a day, every day. It's always on in my house or in my ears. What I love about music is that it encapsulates memories and snapshots of time in my life. These top 5 songs are the ones that trigger images of the road. They bring on the vacant eye and set my feet to tapping. They may also have been known to put the hammer down, if you catch my drift. Travelin' Light by Widespread Panic. Travelin' light is the only way to fly. Travelin' light, just you and I. These lyrics are a great metaphor for the best way to travel, and not just in the physical aspects of traveling light, but more in the mindset to traveling light and to remain open to experiences, planned or unplanned. I love this tune, and whenever I hear it, my mind drifts to the expansive open road and the yellow dashes of paint whizzing by. My window is cracked and I can smell the fresh air. Steve McQueen by Drive-By Truckers. I drive real fast everywhere. No one would ever catch me, and I'd kick your ass if you piss me off, so be careful of what you ask me. And I never have an empty bottle or an empty bed, and as cool as Paul Newman is, I bet Steve could whoop his head. This song not only is a great tribute to Steve McQueen, and if by chance you're not familiar with who he is, he was an actor and known as the King of Cool. Check out the car chase scene in San Francisco from the film Bullet. It will give you a great appreciation of his style. This song just inspires a sense of feeling that just makes you want to put the hammer down and drive. Good One Coming On by Blackberry Smoke. 2 6-packs of Shiner, 99-cent butane lighter, Lucky Strikes and a fifth of Patron. Ice down that igloo cooler, tank of gas that oughta do her. I can feel a good one coming on. Southern Rockers, Blackberry Smoke, just make me want to go, and to go far. This song is like an anthem to me for a pre-trip. The best time to listen to this song is as you're accelerating on an on-ramp to an interstate. It's that feeling of when an airplane is taking off from a dead stop to the full raw power. That is this song. Sugar Magnolia by Grateful Dead. She can dance a Cajun rhythm, jump like the Willies in four-wheel drive. She's a summer love in the spring, fall, and winter. She can make any man alive. This song takes me back to my college days. I was a bit of a late bloomer to the Dead. Ever since those days, I've continued to listen to the Grateful Dead. They represent freedom, exploration, and adventure to me. The random road trips with college friends in the summer, camping trips, drives to see shows at the Gorge at George. Jerry and crew always joined us, and this song reminds me of those times, and that's why I still listen to it and to them when I'm driving. City of New Orleans by Willie Nelson. Good morning, America. How are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call City of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. I feel like any and all American road trips must include Willie. He is an icon who sings a lot of songs about traveling on roads and rails. You can't just help to have a smile wash over your face with the steering wheel in your hand and Willie gracing your ears. These 5 songs are always in my playlists for road trips, but there are so many others too that bring me joy and are responsible for shaping my memories. The next time you are building a playlist for an upcoming road trip, I strongly urge you to consider adding one, if not all of these tunes, to your mix. In our next episode in 2 weeks, I'm going to share with you our plans for our upcoming cross-country road trip. I'm going to share tips on how we are planning our trip and how we are implementing an immersive experience for ourselves and our children. In the meantime, please be sure to share with your friends and family about this podcast, and head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and please leave this show a rating and a review. If you've not yet subscribed to the show, please do so that way you'll never miss an episode. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like me to discuss, please contact me at rv.out.west@gmail.com. Now, get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon. Thanks so much for listening to RV Out West. Join us again in 2 weeks with our next episode. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or wherever you choose to get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And I sure would appreciate if you left a rating or a review of the show. Special thanks to Scott Holmes Music for providing the intro song, We Are One. RV Out West can be found on Instagram and Facebook, where you can interact with us and follow along on our RV adventures around the Pacific Northwest. So get out there, explore, and go see what's beyond the horizon.